So we all need to come to a common understanding of what we believe is one company, and then we can all talk through the points that way. Because that's the best way we can understand. We've got to put the theoretical information we're going to learn now in the best way possible, right? So what does that mean? We all have to agree on a company. Do we want a South African company? Do we want an overseas-based tech company? What are we thinking? Show of hands. Let's start naming some companies, and let's see what the room's reaction towards it is.
Apple. I'm thinking Microsoft.
Okay, so what do people think about Apple? So let's start from the basis of Apple. So did you know that until about 4 years ago, Apple didn't have a Twitter page? They didn't have a Twitter page. They didn't believe they needed to market their business that way. Why do you think they didn't need to market their business that way? It's the same reason you never hear, have you ever seen a Rolls-Royce advert? Why not? Why, if you're reading the newspaper, do you have time to buy a Rolls-Royce? Probably not, right? So that's not their target market. Think about it like that. Yeah.
They believe in the quality of their product. Okay. Because they believe in the quality of their product. And on the issue of Rolls-Royce, is because they know that their target market is literally working on a certain business and they're getting M's. So they don't need to be advertising it to people who can't even afford it. It's not worth it.
They're getting M's. Yeah, I like that one. So I think we'll go through that kind of understanding. We all know who Microsoft is. We're currently probably designing all our presentations on that.
I think with the Rolls-Royce, what they do is whenever there's a new airplane which is unveiled and going to be sold to the market, you'll find their car there, their new car, advertising to people who are buying planes, not to us who are busy watching SABC One.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So if you didn't know, originally Rolls-Royce made engines before they made cars. They made airplane engines, so that's what he was referring to. So that's how they got into the car segment, right? While we wait for my presentation, any other companies? Oh, my presentation is up, all right. But any other companies? That's right.
Meta.
Okay, so do we all know who Meta is? Who's Meta? It's Mark Zuckerberg. Uncle Zach, as I call him. What was Meta previously known as? What was Meta previously known as? Facebook, right? Why did it turn into Meta? Because Mark bought WhatsApp. Twitter's owned by Elon Musk. Yeah. He bought Instagram. Do we know why? Do we know what Elon Musk did when he walked in and bought Twitter? He carried a sink in, and then he tweeted, "Let that sink in." It was the highest purchase of a digital asset in the world at the time. We'll see what happens moving forward. All right, let's go through this market assessment. We need to make a decision now. What company are we going to use, guys? What company are we going to use? So we have Meta. We have Apple, we have Microsoft. No one mentioned a single South African company. So we don't have any good South African companies, not one. Take a lot. I heard that.
Let's go.
We can't use an SEO, man. Come on. They have to provide us that service. But possibly we could use that angle. Let's go to an agreement. So all hands for Apple. Put your hands up. All right, 1. All hands for Microsoft. 1, 2, 3. Is that a hand? Are you committed? Because you didn't seem sure. Meta, who wants to do Meta? All right, no one wants to do Meta. 2, okay, that's 2, that's a tie. ESCOM, who wants to do ESCOM? Yeah, that was a correct answer. Yeah, it's only just you, my brother. You want to hear about the ESCOM today while our lights are on. I think let's make a commitment. Let's all agree to disagree, because only one person went for Apple, so I'm going for the least decisive one. Right, let's start. Can I have the next slide, please? Oh, do I have a laptop? Thank you. All right, so building a market assessment for a brand new business involves several steps to understand the market environment, identify opportunities, and mitigate risks. We'll go through a step-to-step guide. What do you think? What am I talking about? What is a market environment? Anyone know what a market environment is? What are we talking about? Give me a rough term to what you think a market environment is. Remember, there's no stupid answers. So whatever you think it is, it's probably correct. Market environment. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a market environment. Someone else? Yep, sure. Okay, so let's first define a market. What is a market? It's what they just said, guys. That is a market. So it's a process of, trading goods or trading services that we all consume on a daily basis. It's transactional, right? We're either going to barter and you're going to take something from me, or you're either going to pay for a service, right? Are we all in understanding of that? All right. All right, let's define your objectives. Purpose. Clarify why you need a market assessment, e.g., to identify your target customer, evaluate competition, understand market trends. There's a lot going on there. So let's use our example of Apple. Clarify why you need a market assessment. Why do you think you need a market assessment? Why do you need to assess the market you're going into? So we all decided, even though it wasn't a very popular vote, that we're talking about Apple. So what do you think he did as a market assessment? Come on, guys. Why did he do a market assessment? Guys, this is simple. He needed to know who he was going to sell to. Did he not? So everything you're doing today, from this perspective on, do you not know who your customer needs to be? Otherwise, why are you developing it? Right? There needs to be a consumer at the end buying your product. Correct? One, to buy a product. One, to create more data for you guys. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. Am I correct in saying that? All right. We need to identify our target market. So who's Apple's target market? Don't say everyone. Do not say everyone. Because it's easy to say that with Apple now because everyone's using their products. But who were their original target market? Let's think back. So where was Apple designed and manufactured for a little bit? California. So his original target market was California, right? He had to engage with people in California to buy his product, his software, that kind of stuff. I saw your hand up. You want to say something? You sure? So he started in California. So who do you think he was targeting in California for his product? So who would be his ideal target customer? Is it someone sweeping the streets?
The middle class and the upper class.
Middle and upper class. Okay, we need to define those things. We can't just be very generic. You're correct, but he must have had a bracket. 18 to 35. Lives in suburbia. Internet connection. These are all part of your target market. You need to narrowly define your target market. Yes, you're going to have what we consider spillover, where things exit your target market, right? But you need to know who the core people you are selling to. Why is that important? You still want to speak?
The moment they did Apple, they were doing it for business people.
Correct.
Yes, so that they can encrypt or keep their information safe. They were looking on that issue again. Yes.
Someone's watched the movie, eh?
Nah, I don't.
You're correct. So Apple was first designed as a piece of software. We all know the Macintosh, the MacBook. So that's the first integration of the software, right? So his key component for him selling was his design, so how he designed a keyboard, how he designed screens, and his operating system. So he was a rival to Microsoft. Moving on to that bit, you got to evaluate your competitors. Before I do that, does everyone understand how to identify your target customer? So name 3 things I just said. How do you identify?
You identify by demographic, age, middle class and upper class.
Okay, so we decided that it is Apple, right? So Apple's target market, we decided it was middle class. Are we looking at male or female? Are we looking at both? What are the age demographics? 18 to 35, 18 to 45. Who are we engaging with? And why is that important again? Because the piece of software you're developing today needs to be attractable to that target market. So if Apple were targeting very old people, let's say between their 50s and 60s, do you think the user interface would have been the same? Definitely not, right? So the icons would have been bigger. There would have been less features because it would have been easier to navigate technology that way, right? Those are defining factors we need to continuously think about. All right, let's evaluate some competitors. So who do you think Apple's competitors were? Or still are? It's coming behind you. I want new hands, eh? I'm not taking your hand again.
Motorola.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, but why is it Motorola?
Back in the days, Motorola was one of the most popular phones.
Okay, so let's think about this, right? So when Motorola was the peak of its Razr, I had one of those, Apple was still only making MacBooks and Macintoshes. So was that their competitor in the beginning? No, I'm asking you.
No.
Okay, but so later on when they did the cell phone.
Yes, that's when they became their competitor, and
Yep.
that's when they elevated them from designing more phones and going on with their business.
Sure, correct. There's another hand over there. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying though? Does it make sense? We'll recap at the end. to understand.
I'm not really sure, but I'm certain about BlackBerry that BlackBerry is one of the companies that are most secure. So I think iPhone, let me say Apple was competing with BlackBerry because their main objective was on the secure part, I think.
Explain yourself by what you say by secure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean protecting and restricting those who cannot be, okay, let me say, those who are not authorized to access something that, yeah.
Okay, so in that instance, do we know every single one of us in here are the reason why BlackBerry went bankrupt? Every single one of us here. Why is that? Because we all shut down BIS and now we are paying for data. And how did Apple do that? He created a more competitive product, right? It's full touch screen. The finishes were better. The interface was better. That's what killed Apple. The camera was better. I think that's one of his defining features, right? So he single-handedly marketed to us directly by knowing a different range of target markets he could tap into once he was in the cell phone industry. He knew how he could target different areas in different countries. You know, we don't officially have an Apple store in South Africa, right? We buy it third party, and that's how we have the Apple store. There's no such thing as an Apple store in America. So the demand is so high for us to have that phone, a third party went out and then brought it into the country via understanding competition. Right, so we defined some of his competitors later on, but his initial competitor was Microsoft. That was his biggest competitor for a long time, because they're both designing software and an operating system to be used. We also need to understand market trends. What are market trends? Anyone? What is a market trend? And I'm not taking that hand, I'm not taking that hand, and I'm not taking that hand. We can stand here all night. We've got plenty of time. So what is a market trend? Over there.
I would say a market trend is the way in which the interests of people change. Not just people, but the people who are consuming a product change. So a market trend is what is most liked at the current moment and what is probably most sustainable in the future. And the reason why we need to study market trends so that we make the best productivity decisions, because you cannot create something that people do not want at that time. Because just because something was relevant today and being bought so much doesn't mean that tomorrow is still going to be relevant, which is the reason why most companies ended up falling down, because they were not able to keep up with trends and the changes that are happening in the world.
Correct. I say this when I make this presentation a lot, but the person who invented the Yellow Pages, we all remember the Yellow Pages, right? Or am I speaking to, do you know what the Yellow Pages is? It was like a phone book directory. It had everyone's number in it, every business, you could get hold of people. The people who invented the Yellow Pages should have invented Google. But the world just doesn't work like that, guys. So we've really got to stay on top of our game by understanding what the consumer wants. That's what market trends are. You know, like when your phone listens to you and you're watching TikToks and it knows what you like. That's how intrinsically you should understand market trends. You should understand your consumer better than your product. Because the only person who's going to buy your product is your consumer, right? So if they don't like something, it's not about your choice in it. It's more about their accessibility and wanting to buy the product. All right, scope. Determine the scope of your assignment, e.g., geographical area, specific market segment. Are you all making notes? That was 1 year. Who else is making notes? No one? Okay, 2. That's not bad. So, what does that mean? I think it's a pretty self-explanatory statement, but someone explain it to me. So we're using Apple again. Are we going to use Apple from the beginning? So Apple in California, so that's the geographical area, the radius around him, and his specific market segment. So his segment was technology. We can all agree on that, right? Yes? We can all agree that it was technology. His geographical area was California, and he was trying to sell the products within there. And then he knew what his target market was in that geographical area. He knew how to evaluate his competitors. Guys, the competitor stuff I'm going to keep harping on about, right? You need to understand what your competitors are doing so you can do it better or offer a service they're not offering. Otherwise, you're not going to have a defined product. Conduct market research. Gather first-hand information through surveys, interviews, focus groups, observations. Okay, it's going to be hard for you to do market research, right? But you're going to have to take it on principal data that you find on the internet of what other products around you are doing. So let's start from this perspective. What type of survey questions would Steve Jobs have asked in a survey about his product? So let's talk just about the iPhone, right? So what type of survey questions would he have asked? I'll start. Do you like a full touch screen phone? That would have been a survey question, right? Can we agree to that? All right. So what are some other survey questions? I know it's difficult, but we'll get through this together, right? What are some of the other survey questions you think you would have asked? Curved or square edges? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. There's a mic coming for you.
The battery life.
Battery life. Sure.
Battery life, yeah.
Define that question better. So instead of just saying battery life, what do you mean? How long the battery life would last, right?
Yeah.
So probably the survey question would have been like, how long do you want your phone to stay alive for? Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's try and get one more. There's a question on the other side, my brother. Correct. You all know what a focus group is? Do you want me to define a focus group? Okay, so a focus group, they normally put like 10 or 15 people from very diverse backgrounds, different economic standards, different ethnical standards, and then say, here's a product, what is your opinion on this product? So it's outside your target market, but it's just to see what the general reaction is towards your product. So you would put an elderly gentleman, an elderly woman, a very young individual. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? That's a focus group. But then you then define your focus group further to see directly where your target market is. So all this research is helping you with your target market. All of it. Target market, competitor analysis. You're going to get information by creating the right questions and understanding where people would like to buy your product if they do, and what you think is best. All right, secondary research. Did I miss anything? Is anyone confused about anything? So the worst people to ask for any of this primary research is your friends, because they have to be nice. So never ask your friends. They're your friends. They want to be supportive in your journey of becoming an entrepreneur. You want people you don't know. They don't know you. They don't know about your product. They're going to be very honest about it. Am I right in saying that? Well, otherwise you have bad friends. Secondary research. Collect existing data from industry, reports, market studies, academic research, and online resources. This we just use the internet for, guys. So there's always existing reports, probably from the CSIR. There's definitely a report on cybersecurity. So getting that information will make you understand your product better, right? So what would we do with an industry report? If an industry report from the CSIR came out about cybersecurity, what does that tell you? It tells you your market size, right? Mm-hmm. And also, what was I didn't hear your answer.
You need to collect existing data from the report.
Correct, right? So let's put in perspective. Last night we heard that cybersecurity hacks cost South Africa 2 billion rand. Wouldn't you like 10% of that? Because I would. It's just the truth, right? So what does that mean? If you can keep people's data secure and not get hacked, you can charge them a price for it because they know the consequence of action. The market studies speaks to their reports. Academic research, same understanding. Are we all understanding what academic research is? So what you guys do, post-grad, that's academic research. And online resources. So that's like scrolling Facebook, Instagram, seeing what people around you are talking about. That's online resources, right? Because I expect as entrepreneurs that the stuff we do on a day-to-day basis is the stuff we're looking at social media. Because we got to stay up to market. Correct? All right, one yes, I'll take it. Market size. estimate the total market potential in terms of revenue and volume. So that's your whole segment. So we'll use the example again. CSIR says we lose 2 billion rand to cybersecurity hacks. But how much are companies paying for cybersecurity? That's your whole market segment. Let's say it's 3 million rand. Then you would say how much of that market segment you want. Do you want 2%? Do you want 5% of the overall market? Make sense? Yeah? All right. Market growth. Let's analyze historical data to understand growth trends and project future growth. What does that mean? So we're studying the trends that we did before. The trends that we've looked at, what is happening in the market. So if something's trending a bit more, how long is it going to trend for? BlackBerry is a good example of that, right? We didn't know how long BlackBerry would last. I think it was like 10 years, and then everyone stopped using BIS. But if they studied their data, they would have figured out, all right, so we're on a downturn because there's a competitor that's come in and is taking some of our market segment. They were too slow to react. And especially in a cybersecurity space, we need to understand what our competitors are doing, otherwise we'll be irrelevant over time. So let's identify our target audience properly now. The purpose of it, we clarify why we need a market assessment, to identify target customers, evaluate competition, understand the market trends, right? And we determine the scope. Who's comfortable talking from a cybersecurity space what that means? Because we've done it with a company now, Apple. Let's do it from, you don't have to tell me what you're currently hacking, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes. And then I'm going to choose 3 random groups just to tell me what they think their target market is. Give me a rough competitor research, so who you think some of your competitors are. By the way, every person in this room is your competitor if they're not in your group. And some of the market trends. Right, do we understand that? So I'm going to give you 5 minutes. So purpose and scope, it's right up there for you. Your purpose and scope is right up there. And then I'm going to pick 3 random groups and the leader will come up and define those things for me. All right, your 5 minutes starts now.
there's an app called Truecaller.
Yes.
It has some of the features as the app that we're trying to develop.
All right. And then what is some of the market trends from that app? What have you, I'm putting you on the spot here, but what are some of your market trends?
Okay, the market trends aim at being able to reduce the number of cyber hacking that has been occurring in our digital space.
So that's spam calls in your case?
Yeah.
All right, okay. And, all right, what area are you targeting?
Okay. Geographically, we're trying to also target institutions of higher learning, since most students who are in academics tend to be hacked, and they don't really have this kind of knowledge about being able to. Okay, I'm nervous right now. I don't know why.
Relax, it's okay. So let's, I understand what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say to you is, you need to give me a location. Is it 50 kilometers around you? Is it 10 kilometers around you? You need to start somewhere, right?
Okay. Yeah, right now our specific geographical area would have to be Venda, and this is due to our financial capacity. Yes, we would like to expand in the long run, but due to the available resources, we felt it would be best for us to start where we are, and we feel that change is actually needed a lot in Venda, and people need to be taught more about cybersecurity.
Correct. So that first bit you said, in terms of higher institutions, that's your market segment. All right, give him a round of applause. And I said 3, eh? So we'll do 2 more. Yeah, anyone from here? You all looked nervous, so that's why I picked you all. All genuinely looked nervous. Don't be nervous, I don't bite. It's not like anyone's going to watch this. Come on, get up. You can talk like this even, so no one sees you. It makes you more comfortable.
I can't just choose down my way to.
All right. Start with your purpose and then your scope.
My purpose, like the purpose of our.
No. So you're clarifying. Who's your target customer?
Our target customer. First of all, the word, I forgot the word.
It'll come to you, don't worry.
Our
Solution?
our tech solution
Yep, sure.
caters for child daycare services.
Sure. Don't say any more. Don't tell your competitors here what you're doing. All right, that makes sense. So you're identifying.
Our target market are parents.
Are parents?
Yeah.
All right. And what ages are parents? I'm asking you. Let's just go. Let's go from 18 to what?
From 18 to 45.
Okay, so are they young parents? Are they old parents?
All kinds of parents.
All right, all right.
Our target market is not really restricted by age. It's more restricted by the geographical area.
Sure. And who's your competition?
Other daycare services, homeschooling.
Sure.
And tutors.
What are some of your market trends in that industry? So tell me, are people willing to spend lots of money in your industry, or are they looking for their kids to be safe? What are some of the market trends?
Market trends are parents usually drop their kids at the daycare centers so they can go to work because there's nobody to take care of the kids. Maybe they want their kids to start attending school early because early foundation is a good foundation.
All right, I like that. What's your geographical area?
Like, do I say the name of our geographical area? or do I like just say, because it is a residential area.
Okay, so is it a residential area around you? Is it a residential area in the northwest?
No, it's a residential right here in Limpopo.
All right, okay. And your market segment is? You said it multiple times now.
My market segment
Is
geographics.
market segment is daycares.
Sorry?
You said daycares, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your market segment is daycares.
Is
That's
it not education?
well, it can be. I don't know entirely what your solution is, but it could be one of those two things. That's correct. Yeah. Give her a round of applause. All right, we need one more. I normally pick the people who look the most nervous. So if you don't look nervous, you probably won't come up here. That table in the corner. Yeah. Come on. Wherever your team leader is. It's okay, only one of you look nervous, so maybe send that person up. The mic is behind you. You're right. You understand how to do this, right?
Can try.
We'll find out together.
Yeah.
All right, so who's your target market?
Small enterprises and large enterprises.
Okay, and the reason for that?
Is because when we look into the idea of phishing, the idea of data breaches and all that, we found that it's mostly focused on businesses, and so we decided to focus on that as well.
Any reason you're focusing on small business?
We focusing on business generally,
Okay.
small enterprise and large enterprises.
Who are some of your competitors?
We tried to look up something like that, and we found that Google is trying to do something which is almost similar, but not like at that scale. So, yeah.
So you're taking on Google? I'm asking,
Yeah.
are you taking on Google?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a brave man, well done to you. What are some of the market trends?
The market trends. So when we look into the space of cyber security, cyber attacks and all that, obviously it's an upscale.
Okay, it's a little too broad. So let's try and narrow it down. Beyond just cybersecurity, what are some of the market trends in it? Is it that people are looking for simplicity? Are they looking for a solution that is integrated? You know, what are some of the market trends for your solution?
Okay, for my solution, it is the idea that you actually said it like just as it is. People are sort of looking for something which is not integrated, because things that are integrated are already there and still like things are happening. So it doesn't raise much of awareness, because for instance, spam detection systems, right? They are there, but still even there, when they are there, phishing is happening, all those things are happening, right? Because many are ignorant that, there's actually something like that, so they're not aware that there's such things happening. But when you know that there's something like this which is sort of individual, now you are even more aware when you receive something which is sort of, when I explain, I'm gonna say my idea. Yeah, when you come across something which is sort of, fishy or whatever, you know where to go.
So you would say other spam detectors are your competitors then as well?
Yes, in a way, yeah.
Okay, we'll define it better. What is your geographical area?
Globally.
Okay, it's quite broad. So how is it because your service is available online?
Yeah.
But where are you going to start?
where are we going to start?
You can't say globally and not have a geographical area that you can target. Because if you don't have an area you could target to possibly roll, your area could be somewhere that is high in demand of your solution because there's constant hacking going on there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you?
Yeah, but where, like, okay, can you identify area where there is no such thing happening?
No, you can't, and I hear you, but I'm saying an easy way for you to enter the market, right? So I understand that it's a global solution, but you need to penetrate the market in some way. You need a way in. So you need an area. Logically, it's the area around you. Logically, right? So, because there's no way you can have enough infrastructure when you're starting now to compete with Google, even though you want to,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
So where's your geographical area? Where are you going to start?
Okay, so now it's like I have to reason from what you just said and try to think of it now, but
Sure,
I would say,
you don't have the answer
obviously
now, but
why
you understand better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously where I am, like you said, because when I look into it, the states are saying that Africa or South Africa is one of the most attractive because we lack such knowledge, we lack such material, so charity begins at home, I guess.
Yep, cool. So we're going to start in South Africa. It's a good place to start?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Give him a round of applause. All right. I'm not going to ask you what a need and a want is. I think we're all adults now, right? We all know what we need. We all know what we want. But we need to know what the customer needs. Identify the key needs and pain points of your target audience. So as much as you're developing a solution right now, if your solution needs to adapt based on pain points from your market research, are you going to adapt them? It's a decision, by the way. You don't have to, but will you adapt them as a startup? You're saying yes, all right? And why are you saying yes? I can't hear you. You're going to have to speak up or wait for a mic.
I said yes because if you don't, you'll lose all relevancy of your product and your business.
Correct. Well, that's my opinion. Some founders make other choices, and that's choices you're going to have to make for yourself. But most of the time, you should always identify with your customer more than your product, especially in the beginning. Once your product becomes more robust, it then allows you to determine actually what your product is needed for. Make sense? Thanks. All right, so demand trends. Evaluate current demand and potential changes in the market. That's why I said it's important. Whatever you're scrolling on social media should be exactly the same in terms of what you're trying to build. Right? Because overnight things can change. Overnight. And we need to be up to date on those trends. And especially in your industry, in terms of what you're trying to prevent. I don't know what the scale of your projects are, but you could go to bed tonight. You and your team could sleep peacefully. You could have the Standard Bank contract, and when you wake up in the morning, all of Standard Bank has been hacked. So staying on top of that trend will help you evaluate what are some of your solutions for. Right? Make sense? I'm using those examples that I know around me. So if you don't know them, please ask. So how are you going to figure out what your customer needs are during a hackathon? Because you can't go interview people now. You physically can't interact with them because you're building this product, right? But it needs to be part of your presentation tomorrow in some way. So how do you know what your customer needs? You'll have to use market growth. Right? Because that's data that's available to you now. Correct in saying that? That's the only way you can actually determine it. Is it going to be 100% accurate? No. But it's going to give you a size. All right. Now we need to define our competition. right, and evaluate them. So let's say our direct competitors, we need to identify and analyze business offering similar products or services. Those are people who are almost doing the exact same things as you. Why is it important that we need that? I want someone to answer from back there, because I don't know if anyone back there is actually listening to me. So why is it important that we need to know what our direct competitors are doing? Any answer? Someone from there?
Okay, I think it can help us to improve the services that we are rendering to our customers.
Correct. So, did you all hear what he said? Yep. So, what he's saying is whatever services you're rendering to your customer, and whatever services another competitor is rendering, you want to compare yourself directly to it. Is it your customer service? Is it something that's missing from your software? You need to understand that, because competition breeds healthy markets, right? It means that we're constantly evolving our technology. So you need to constantly be communicating and working with your team to understand what your competitors are doing. Indirect competitors, identify and analyze businesses offering alternative solutions. So what's an alternative solution to what you're creating? Is there another way to protect their data or work your solution? It's not a direct competitor, but it's a similar service in a whole different way. Does anyone have an example? Hand?
Okay, so actually, indirect competitors, the target audience is the same,
Correct.
But they are offering different services. For example, at the cinema, there's, let's say, a chocolate shop and ice cream shop.
Yes.
All those people who are there, they are their target audience, but people will choose where they want to go, either chocolate or ice cream.
Correct. Yeah, maybe I didn't explain myself properly there, but thank you. I think that's a better explanation. And then we have a competitive analysis. So we study competitors, strengths, weaknesses, market position, pricing, and market strategy. So what you would do internally for your own business is what you would do for your competitors as well. You need to understand your business as well as you understand your competitors. It's further down. But we can discuss that point a little further on, but do you understand why you're doing that? Why are we doing it? I see some heads agreeing, but why are we doing it? Yeah, I'll ask a lot of questions. And because it's important for us to continuously analyze our competitor while we're developing our product. Otherwise, we'll just end up like BlackBerry, right? BlackBerry and Apple. One will have to fall away because one will take the biggest size of the market segment. This goes back to our trends. So we need to, industry trends, I think we've gone on about this quite a bit. So keep abreast of the industry development, technology advancements, and regulatory changes, which is highly important in terms of what I'm saying to you guys today. There are going to be, like let's use the advancement of Poppy, right? We all know what Poppy is. That's what keeps our data private. It's why we get less spam calls now, because our data is not public information anymore. That is a law that came into place that could affect anything you guys are doing. Make sense? And then I think technology advancements make sense. We are constantly seeing where technology is evolving to. open AI integrations, that kind of stuff, we wouldn't have had that conversation 4 years ago, now would we? No. So we need to keep understanding some of the technology advancements. Economic factors, this is a big one. So you need to consider economic, indicators such as GDP, so how much is a person earning per capita, and employment rates. So that's external and internal. But why is that important? So you know what? How to price your product, right? You can't, most of you are going to start your products around you. Could you charge anyone around you $200 to use your product? How many customers would you get? Probably 0, right? So it's important that we see those. And then social and cultural trends. So understand societal changes and they may impact customers' behavior. A great example of that is COVID. So when that happened, what happened to society? What happened to the trends of society? Were we buying more luxury products, or were we hunkering down and staying in a house and buying necessities? So those products went up in value, while other things lost value towards us, right? And that's how some of us are not social creatures anymore. People can stay indoors for a lot longer now because of COVID and never need to leave the house and have access to all of the stuff they require. Make sense? Yes? I didn't hear a single yes. Yes? All right, so we also need to identify some of the barriers to entry. So, licensing, permits, compliance, and requirements. These are not issues you directly need to deal with today, but it's something you should note in your presentation that could be an issue further down. We might need FICA requirements, we need, certain permits and compliance for you to operate need to be noted. You have a question? Okay. These are important so we keep our companies that we're going to create from this above board. Financial barriers, initial capital requirements and ongoing operational costs. These are burdens we need to consider in our presentations, right? So how much do we need in this segment as investment? Is it 2 million rand? Is it 1 million rand? Is it $50,000? And what are some of your costs attached to doing these things? Conducting market research, evaluating, that requires people who understand it, correct? Or marketing of your product on social media, having activations. These are all important things. Does that make sense? Okay. Market barriers, customers' loyalty to established brands, and distribution channels and supplier relationships. If you are creating something that requires you third-party authorization, if that third-party authorization goes down, are you able to do your job still? No. So you need to understand your supplier's relationship. You need to be concrete about those contracts, and your customer loyalty is established by your brand. Is your customer loyalty an established brand? So you need to see who are the established brands in your market, and if it's possible for you to compete, and what are the costs for you to compete. The point of this is not for you to go in blind, not knowing what it's going to take for you to compete on the global stand or in South Africa. You need to understand what that's going to cost. All right. Do you all know what a SWOT analysis is? Raise your hands. 2, 3. Is that it? 4? Okay, so this is the best way to do a market assessment on your company and on your competitors. So normally what I do is take a piece of paper, break it down into 4 columns. S, W, O, T. So what are some of the strengths in your company? So internal weakness, What are some of the internal challenges you could have? Opportunities, external factors that could be, that you could take advantage of, and threats, external risks and challenges. I feel like we might need to do a small demonstration of that, right? So, do you all understand the 4 square thing that I just spoke about? Let's give ourselves like 5 or 6 minutes. Let's just work on that quickly. And that actually helps you in the long run, because after you do it now, you can just build on it for your presentations. All right, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I just need 2 people to raise their hand. 2 people from 2 different groups. And then I'll leave you all alone. Do you need a bit more time? Seems like it. All right, 2 hands. 2 hands, guys, come on. I know it's been long. I know this is not the fun bit that you wanted to do, but we have to do this work. Otherwise, what's the point of the solutions we are creating? Please don't make me pick. Just put 2 people put out their hands, 2 different groups, come on. All right, that table at the end. I haven't picked anyone from the middle, have I? And this table over here. All right. While that table figures out who took the notes, because I can see it in your face, this table goes first. Come on. It's really not that scary, I promise. You only need like 1 strength, 1 weakness, 1 opportunity, 1 threat. I don't need to hear a long list. I just need to hear 1 of each thing, so I know that you're on the right track. You can bring a friend for support if you're scared to come stand by yourself. That's the whole point of having a team. All right, we good? Is that all your notes for this?
Yeah.
I've done very well, so that makes me very happy. You can choose 1 for each one. So 1 for strengths, 1 for weakness, 1 for opportunity, 1 for your threats. All right? Go.
For threats, since that we'll be having competitors, I think it will be hard for us to gain loyal customer base since we have competitors. And for opportunities, I think we can offer classes for them, and then like maybe they can get a certificate after learning, and they can also use that certificate to apply for jobs related to cybersecurity.
So make me understand why that's an opportunity for you. Why is that an opportunity? Yeah.
Okay, it's an opportunity for me because like I'll be crediting. Okay, I'm good when I give you. If I'm offering those people that I will be tutoring for cyber security awareness.
Yeah.
If I will be offering them those tutorials and giving them a certificate after those courses, right? When they get employed, they have to like show the certificate that they got from me, right? So if they're showing that and then having like so much, okay, let me rephrase.
No, it's fine. Take your time.
Okay,
We've
so
got all
like
night.
This. Okay, hold here. Since I'm offering courses, right?
Yes.
For people who want to learn more about cybersecurity, when they get jobs, on that certificate that I'll be giving them, I have credited myself that I gave this person.
So it's your accreditation?
Yes.
Okay.
So in this way, it's me opening myself to more customers who are going to be interested in my product. Because if I was able to teach that person, maybe in like 6 months, I was able to make that person gain so much knowledge and awareness about that thing, she would like, I'm really good.
Sure. Okay,
So
that's
it's like an
fair.
opportunity for me. And then threads is like, okay, already we have like businesses who are dealing with like, what's this? cyber
Mhm.
security awareness, right? So my thread is like trying to make those people who are loyal to those businesses come to me.
Okay. All right, and your weakness?
And my weaknesses are like since on the challenge thing they said that local communities, right? Since I'm dealing with local communities, okay, for example, Venda. Not that it's really
Use the microphone. No, no worry.
Okay, sorry. I'm just saying that if I'm dealing with like maybe the rural areas, most of my customers might have a problem with my pricing, right? Let's say my price is 8,000. It's too much for someone from a rural place who doesn't even work. So I was planning on like per session, I can like make that person pay like, okay, let's say per month, I'm offering, okay, in a month, I'm offering like 10 classes, right? I will divide the amount by 10 classes and make them pay per session. So I'm not losing.
So you've identified your weakness and figured out your solution for it. All right, that's good. What's your strengths?
My strength. On that. I don't know how to answer that.
Sure, you don't. That's why you have a teammate up here.
Okay. Mara, we did mention this one.
Sure.
Anero said car strength will be offering courses for like 6 months, just like she said.
So that's your strength and your weakness.
Yeah.
So your one
and
statement.
then like on our strength, they will be gaining a certificate after what?
So it's your
After
strength, your
that.
weakness, your strength, and an opportunity now.
Yeah.
I am. It's my whole point. I know I'm being a little difficult, but do you understand why I'm asking those questions?
Yeah.
It's more important that you understand than the answers you are giving me.
Yeah. We did mention this one.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, give them a round of applause. All right, from that team. Yeah, it's you. So they're definitely a little bit lost there, right? But I think the key thing is that it can be a little confusing if you haven't defined your product yet. That's the big problem. And the SWOT analysis, yes? There you go. The mic is right there by you.
So I think I thought of it. My strength is I am offering something that is highly in demand. Cybersecurity awareness is highly in demand, so it is a strength because like I'm able to get customers.
Yeah, getting closer. That's all that matters, right? So we've got to define our product properly before we can do this. Otherwise, you're going to have a situation where your strength sounds like your weakness sounds like your opportunity, and your opportunity sounds like a threat. You need to clearly define your product. Make sense? Is that table ready for me? If you don't want to come up, the mic can come to you. Would you be more comfortable that way? The choice is yours. And by the way, you can tell a lot by a company on which way they start their SWOT analysis. It's very basic, but you started with your threats. Go ahead.
So at our problem solving, we focus on the strengths, we focus on the comprehensive offering of our business offer to wide range of services, like at a small business, like we are solving a problem for small business where we are tackling the ransomware for the small businesses around Thohoyandou area, such as service providers, restaurant and hotels.
Sure. What's your weakness?
Our weakness is that in that area, most of the small businesses, they don't have that much budget to afford, and like the market is low in that criteria. Some of them, they prefer to stay analog. They rather write their information on the piece of papers. But I think we can tackle that. We can introduce them to the digital world so that they can move forth with the fourth industrial revolution.
Sure. It's very good that you guys are identifying your weaknesses and then giving me a solution for it. So that's tremendous, because the key thing is you could have just told me, hey, this is my weakness, I can't do anything about it. But you're actually telling me, this is the problem, and I'm trying to find a solution for my weakness. What's your opportunity?
The opportunity is because we're going to be successful at this. Ne?
I like that.
Because we're going to be successful at this, we can end up in a worldwide range business where we'll be giving our services to internationally, to other countries, and there's a wide range of market out there. So we don't know. We'll explore them.
Sure. What's some of your threats?
The threat is that as much as the cybersecurity is increasing, even the black hackers, they are busy developing new tools to attack the businesses that we're going to be protecting against them. So that's the only threat, and the only solution is that we need to keep up with them. As soon as there's a new tool, we need to provide the solution to stop that tool from attacking our businesses.
Sure. Give them a round of applause, guys. All right, so these last two slides are pretty self-explanatory from where we've come from. So your data analysis, use statistical tools and techniques to analyze your data collection. In your industry, that is highly important. I mean, you need to constantly be evaluating the data you receive to notice any trends. Insights. Draw meaningful insights and conclusions from your data. So from a market perspective and internally from what the data you're gathering, if it is part of your business, you need to draw clear insights. So as a team, you need to say, hey, we've made this decision. This is the conclusion we've made on this data, and I think this is the best way for us to proceed on the information we've received. Everyone make sense on that? Yeah? I'm one of those square people who always tries to make reports out of everything. So I'm quite boring, but it always gives you a point of reference in terms of everything you're doing. So you need to create a report on your market. Everything you've done, everything I've talked you through, in a very generic report, it doesn't have to be done through this hackathon, but it's important for you in the long term to understand, your executive summary, provide a high-level overview of the key findings of your recommendations. So what are some of the key takeaways that you've done from all of this market research, your competitor analysis? What are some of the key information you want to pull out from there? Some of your detailed findings, present the detailed analysis, including the data charts and graphs that could help guide you down the line, because each time you have a report from your marketing side and your market segment, you're going to understand where this data lies. And then always your recommendations. Offer an acceptable recommendation based on your findings. And then the last one's just a couple of, to include any additional data, sources, and research materials. Anything that you've looked up, found, especially from second-party data, right? So you can always reference back to that website or any place where you found that information. It'll be the best way forward. And then review and revise. Seek feedback from stakeholders and review and revise assignments as needed. Always look for feedback on everything you create. continuously, internally and externally where you possibly can, right? And then regular updates. Keep the assignment up to date with new data and trends. That's why I say in my marketing agency, we do a trend analysis report once a week. Once a week. So every week, we're seeing what the markets are telling us, what's important, what we can do better internally with our team, and say, these are the long-term goals that we're trying to achieve. Does our regular updates align with that, or do we need to be less aggressive, more aggressive in the market with any of the companies we're taking to market? Any questions? No? All right, that's me. If you want to contact me, you can contact me there. Sweet. Have a good day, guys. Cheers, bye. I'm done, by the way, if that makes anyone who needs to come up next.
Are too quiet. Can you just greet your neighbor and say, are you getting it right? Are you getting it? Ask him, ask her, are you getting it? Are we hacking it? Right, thank you. Right, my name is Langan Paingirande. I'll be taking you through commercialization and funding. Commercialization and funding. But my main emphasis, it will be on solution pricing and fundraising. You are busy developing your apps, but how are you going to price your app or your product? How are you going to commercialize your product? That is going to be the talk of this session. Are we together? So, why is it important to commercialize, if I may ask? Why is it important to commercialize? Hello? Anyone who want to assist? Yes, thank you.
The importance of commercialization is to know whether people love your product or not.
Thank you. Right. And again, is it important to have knowledge in how am I going, or are you going to price your product? Is it important to have that information or knowledge? Is it important to understand how you are going to price your product or your idea or your solution? If so, how? Hello? Why is it important to understand pricing of our solutions? Hello, anyone?
It is important to commercialize our solutions because that the solutions that we are all making here today, we are not doing them for ourselves, but we are doing them for the people. At the end of the day, we need to get the services to the people, the business to the people, and they have to pay for that.
Thank you so much. So I want to first define commercialization. And I've got 3 definitions here. The first one, which describe the term commercialization as turning innovative ideas into viable products. That's the first definition. The second one being the transaction of knowledge created. You guys, you are busy creating solutions by any individual or groups or organization to an organization who will translate the knowledge into a new product or service. So in short, I try to summarize this. It is the process of taking an innovation to market for financial profit. That's how I view commercialization. But it's not is taking your idea, you commercialize it, right? because especially amongst you who are starting, there are some challenges, right? But what are those challenges? Some of them is we lack resources for us to compete with maybe big players. We also at times lack experience in penetrating the market. And again, even experience to bring the product to the market. So these are the questions again which you need also to ask yourself. I'm developing this product, or I'm going to commercialize my product or my service, but do I have enough resources? Do I have enough experience? If not, how am I going to address that challenge? Are we together? Hello? Thank you. Then the importance of commercialization. Why is it important? And a colleague have answered us, but through commercialization, we are able to generate revenue. Remember, it starts as an idea, and it ends as a product, right? And the moment it becomes a product, then we are now starting to what? To make money. Then commercialization again, it creates new industries and jobs. Because the moment your idea is converted into a product or a sellable product, then it means new organizations or companies are going to be opened, right, because of your idea. And again, the jobs again are going to be created. And again, it supports business sustainability once you commercialize your idea. Then what are the strategies? So I'm not saying these are the only strategies, but I just picked a few strategies. You need to understand your target market. I think the previous presenter indicated that what is your market? Do you understand it? Do you know it? So you need to understand who are you trying to sell your product or idea to. The moment you understand that, then you can even customize your product to fit the market. Are we together? Hello? Yes. Another strategy again for startups like you is to research your competition to see what they are doing and how you can do it better. So you need also to do a proper research. Who are other players in this field, which I am in? And again, how can I differentiate my product from the existing products? Are we together? Then another strategy is to develop a strong branding strategy. How are you going to develop a strong brand of your product or service so that you can be able to compete with the existing products? How your solution is going to be known as the best in the market. It's very important as well. Then you need to create a sales and a marketing plan. So, how are you going to sell your product? Who is your target customer or consumer for your product? Then that is the plan which you need also to have. And also, how am I going to market the product? Because you might have a very good product, but if you are not aware of how to market it or how it's going to reach the market, then it becomes a challenge again. So I think for now, I'm going to request maybe 2 groups. What is going to be your sales or sales plan, and what is going to be your market or marketing plan? You are developing your softwares or your solutions, but how are you going to sell to the consumers? How are you going to make sure that your product is known in the market? So may you discuss. Let me just give you maybe a minute, then you can share. More time. The hackers, are you ready? Okay. Let's hear from the group which is ready. What is going to be your sales planning? How are you going to sell your product? What's your plan? From your PCs to us, or maybe to the possible funder. You never know. Maybe the funder is here. How are you going to do it? What's your plan? Any volunteer? Hello, from the back. Anyone from that table? Guys, feel free. I'm not going to award any marks here. We are discussing. How are you going to sell your product? Okay.
We are going to sell our product by advertising or promoting. On a marketing plan, we are going to sell our product by promoting our product and advertising it on social media. And promoting.
Okay. Through product promotion and through advertising. Do you agree with her? Let me hear from this group. Do you agree with her? How are you going to do it?
By ourselves, we are going to create objectives. And for our marketing plan, we are going to identify our target audience. When I say on sales, I meant we are going to set goals. Then for marketing, identifying target audience, we are going to look at the primary and secondary levels.
Okay. Let me move on. you need also to implement effective customer service policies. Some developers or solution providers, they come up with very important, very good products or services, but they don't also consider customers. They don't protect their customers. Yet customers are the final consumers of the service or product. So it's very, very important to have policies which will protect your customers. How can we protect our customers? Are we going to treat our customers fairly? If maybe our product is giving challenges to our customers, do we assist them? Or we just sell the product and ignore them? So these are the very important questions which you need also to ask yourself to say, how am I going to keep the relationship as an organization, right? Or as a developer, or as a product developer, to make sure that customers are going to be happy, are going to be loyal to what you are producing. Then I'm moving now to solution pricing. How are you going to price your product? And what is pricing? And from the definition there, pricing is the process of setting a selling price for a product or a service. So it's a process of setting a selling price for a product or a service that considers all costs associated in producing the product and selling it, as well as what customers are willing to pay. So when you are pricing your product, you need to factor all these issues. What are the total costs associated with producing your product? And the cost of selling it. Because at times we tend to forget that we need resources, or we have used resources to produce your product. And at the same time, we also use the resources or money in the process of selling that product. So you need to consider that as well when you want to, or when you are pricing your product. And again, when you are determining the cost of your service or product, you need also to check whether your customers, are they willing to pay the amount which you are going to charge. So you need to also understand your customers. You might have a very good product, but if your pricing is not correct, then it becomes a challenge. And these are the possible few strategies that I have also identified that can assist you in pricing or in giving a value to your service or a product. The first one is value-based pricing, whereby you set prices or a price based on the perceived value to the customer rather than the cost. So the way people or the way customers perceive your product, the importance of a product, that's how you are supposed now to also check. You might find that you get into the market, you've got your own price, but the customers will tell you that, no, I think your product is okay, but I think it's overpriced. We afford this. So at times you are also forced to go down because of the perceptions of your customers towards your product's value. Then another pricing strategy is competitive pricing, whereby you analyze competitors and set price accordingly. So you need also to, through that market research, you need also to check how much other players are charging. It might be not the same or a similar product, but because your product is trying to address almost similar challenge which others are solving that particular time, then you need now to see how much are they charging, so that you can also be in within that range. Then we have also another strategy which is called cost plus pricing. Cost plus pricing, whereby you need to calculate the costs incurred in producing, in selling your product, and you add a markup. So that's where now you check how much were my total costs to come up with this product. And then you also add a small percentage to your what? To your product. Then this one, freemium model, it's a strategy which offers basic features for free with advanced features paid. So depending on how many features does your product has, right? So some of the features you can just say, no, I can give you 1, 2, 3 features from of my product for free, but you charge some of the features of your product, as long as you are still going to make a profit. Are we together? Hello? All right. Thank you. So what are the considerations in pricing? So you need to do market research. I think we've covered it. You need to do what is called product differentiation. So you need to highlight unique features and the benefits of your product. What differentiates your product or service with your competitor? Then cost structure again, account for development. You need to understand how much did you use for developing the product, how much in maintaining the product, and again, support costs and your cash flows. You need to understand. So basically, there's also a need of understanding of basic accounting there, so that you can able to calculate your cash flows. Then you need also to do what is called customer segmentation, which is tailor pricing of different customer segments. I think we're also talking about segmentation. What is going to be your customer segmentation? I think the previous speaker was talking about that. So you need to also understand, to say my customers are not the same. So the moment you understand that your customers are not the same, then you find that there are customers whom you are going to charge a bit less price, and there are customers whom we are also going to what? To pay a bit of higher price, depending on the segment in which your customers are in. And as developers, we are developing right now. But we are talking about you need some costs, you need funds or capital to develop your products or services. Right. So how are you going to fundraise, or how are you going to get to generate capital so that you can perform or you can produce your products? So the first type of funding is what is called bootstrapping. We are starting, at times you try to, we don't have collaterals in terms of maybe if you go to the bank, they say, what do you have? You are still starting, you don't have something to show. So basically you use what is called bootstrapping, which is self-funding from personal savings. It's not easy, but at times that's where most of us start, right? You start by funding yourself using your personal savings. Then you can also source funds from angel investors, which are early stage investors who provide capital for equity. So these are small organizations which fund startups. And in most cases, they also even mentor, right? But for a certain benefit or equity. So they can say, well, yes, we can fund you, we can incubate you, but we are also going to we require a certain percentage from your profits. So these are called angel investors. Then venture capital, which are investment from firms in exchange for equity stake in the company. So mainly these ones, they are big companies or big investors, right? Who assist with funding, but their equity stake is a bit high compared to angel investors. Then you can also consider grants and competitions, which is a non-equity funding from organizations or competitions. So you need also to consider which one is best, considering the size of my business. Then I'm not going to talk about creating a compelling pitch, but this slide I was thinking of sharing with you, maybe to say, if you decided to take the route of competitions or grant and competitions, then it means you need also to go and present to possible funders, so that you can convince them to say, my business is worth for funding. So, but there's a colleague who is going to talk about it. I'm not going to dwell much on this one. Then let me continue with strategies which I thought they are effective in fundraising. One of them, again, is networking. You need to build a relationship or relationships with potential investors and industry contacts. So networking is very important. You don't know who is going to assist you, but through networking, through collaboration, you are likely to get financial assistance. And again, crowdfunding is also another strategy which one can use, which is leverage platforms like Kickstarter or Indiegogo for support. So at times we might come as a group and say, let's fund my business, right? Once my business is now booming, then we also contribute some funds and fund another business or someone's, the other colleague's business. That is crowdfunding. It's mostly common, like in South Africa. I've seen it with the Ethiopians. They are very good at crowdfunding. They fund or they contribute money to one person. Then they struggle together. Then within 2 months, 3 months, a year, then you find that the colleague have also started another business somewhere, right? But they put their money together as part of fundraising strategy. Then another one again, pitch competitions. Tomorrow you are going to pitch your ideas. And you never know. Not you never know. Definitely 5 teams, if I heard very well, they're going to come up with something. So it's a source of what? Fundraising, because that money you are going to grow your business. So you need to participate in competitions to gain exposure and funding. So even if you don't get funding, but that experience will assist you in sourcing funding again in another pitching competition. Strategic partnerships. You need to form alliance with companies that complement your solution. So here I gave an example of CSIR. We are busy with the tech solutions here. And the CSIR, they are also in this field. So you need also now to form alliance with the big organizations. Then I also decided to ask you some few questions which I don't expect answers. First one, who is your target market? I think you have covered that one. Number 2, what is your value proposition? Number 3, who are your competitors? If you don't know your competitors, then it's high time for you to say, I'm developing this product, this app. But what is happening in the market today? So that you can differentiate your product from the existing products. How sustainable is your product or service? It's also very important. Do you see your product being marketable in 3 years to come, 4 years to come? You need also to consider that. Then in short, or in conclusion, you need to price your product reasonably. You need to fundraise your business to sustain your products or services to customers. And again, I encourage you to apply these strategies in your projects. And thank you. And all the best. And I'm done. Any comments, subtractions? In the absence of questions, thank you.
If you guys have any issues with your solutions, so the mentors will be able to try and like understand what are you trying to achieve and maybe like refine it so you are ready for tomorrow. Then after the session, we're gonna have the pitch deck demonstration on how we expect you to present your stuff tomorrow. So I'll run that in, but for now, we're just gonna all walk around just to try explain what you're doing, what are you trying to achieve. And the reason why we only have mentors is because of you don't want you guys to hear each other's problems or how you plan to go about it, but also share what you think about the solution and maybe they can help you, maybe they can assist you in terms of trying to write your problem statement better or like a description better or how you can look at it. And also you have time to really refine it and prepare for tomorrow. And yeah, over to you, mentors and everybody here. So I think we're just gonna be walking around from all the desks just to see if everyone is fine. And then yeah, after the session, then we're gonna have my session, the pitch deck, and I think it's gonna be dinner. Then you guys gonna continue hack, and then we're gonna wait for the rest of the team to just come